Hola, buenos dias, Alex.
Buenos dias, Melina.
I'm so excited to be going to Cuba and to meet all our delegates.
Me too, Melina. I've got my suitcase ready, it's really heavy.
It is. What are you taking?
Well, I have everything I need and some gifts and donations. Maybe we can compare our packing lists later.
That's a great idea. What did you find different about being in Cuba from being in the USA?
Let me see. Well, for a start, the weather. It is really, really hot and humid all the time. That's one of the reasons my suitcase is so heavy. I take extra clothes because I end up changing them a couple of times a day.
And I take a little laundry detergent so I can wash some of my clothes in my room. Sometimes it looks a little crazy with things lying close to the air conditioner drying out.
Yeah, I remember that. I also take sunscreen, a hat and, because the mosquitoes can get really bad outside Havana, I even take a pretty strong mosquito repellent.
My most important item is my wrap. I use it to protect myself from mosquitoes in the evening, from too much air conditioning, although that doesn't happen very often in Cuba, and even from the rain if we get caught in a tropical storm.
I remember it falling off when we were dancing in Cienega de Zapata.
It was a lot of fun.
These delegations always are, and we learn so much too.
What did you think of the places we stayed at?
It was a surprise to me that so many of the toilets don't have seats.
Speaking of toilets, I hope you remember to pack some toilet paper. That's something hard to find in Cuba outside of your hotel room. Oh, and any medications and all your toiletries because they are almost impossible to find.
The Casas particulars were very lovely. Everywhere we stayed was clean, and even though some places were pretty basic, I was always comfortable.
But I remember for some people in a group it was still a shock, so different from what they were used to at home.
Adapting to a group can also be a bit of a shock. Do you have any tips for that?
How about we share our 10 ways to get the most out of a delegation to Cuba?
I'm ready, let's go.
1. Be flexible.
That's super important. There are so many reasons for plans to change at the last minute. Our itinerary changed a few times last trip. Some things got moved around and others changed completely, but they were all great. And, learning to live on Cuban time means being more relaxed about when things will happen.
Yes, but we still need everybody to be punctual for our bus and events. Nobody wants to be the person holding the group up.
2. It's Cuba.
So we're in another country with its own rhythms and way of doing things. There is nowhere in the world like Cuba and it's magical, but it also means you shouldn't expect anything to be like home.
3. Be respectful.
We meet and are able to talk with so many Cubans. They are so warm and friendly it's easy to accidentally ask a too personal question. Just remember to treat everyone with respect.
That goes for our fellow delegates too. A lot of personalities together for an intense experience.
And all the people who work so hard to make this trip a success.
Yes, our driver, our interpreter, our facilitator from the Martin Luther King Center and our Witness for Peace facilitator too. They work so hard for us and they make it seem so easy.
4. Look after yourself.
It's really important to stay hydrated. Drink a lot more water than you think you need. Make sure the water you drink is filtered, boiled or bottled. Protect yourself from the sun and the mosquitoes. If you are injured or sick, let one of us know straight away. Cuba is in the tropics, even a small cut must be kept clean to avoid infection.
We have a first aid kit with us at all times. Some of us are trained in CPR and we can take anyone to the international clinic for treatment.
5. Be open, be curious.
There is so much to learn, just by paying attention and observing. We make sure that the very best experts share their knowledge with us, but pretty much any encounter you have is an opportunity for enrichment.
You'll be full of questions and we welcome them. But, we want to make sure everybody has a chance to ask. So, please, limit yourself to just one question at our group encounters until everyone has been able to speak.
6. Respect economy.
The typical monthly salary of a Cuban is $20 to $40 and the typical cost of living is way higher. We are arriving with our dollars and our dollar economy. Don't overbargain when you buy gifts. Remember to tip in restaurants and bars when the meal is not covered by the delegation. We encourage our delegates to buy drinks for our Cuban staff who are traveling with us.
So how much did you spend on your last delegation, Alex?
Well, I found everybody spent differently. Some people bought art, cigars, rum, gifts, even honey. Others just bought a couple of mojitos. I was glad I had budgeted for tips for our staff though.
Yes, it's easy to forget to plan for that. We have 4 people with us the whole time working pretty much round the clock.
And don't forget the people who prepare all our meals at the center.
7. Bring your dancing shoes, or at least your dancing spirit.
Music and dance are the lifeblood of Cuba, they are unavoidable. Even if you swear you never dance, you're in Cuba. Feel the music, relax and enjoy.
8. Don't be a picky eater.
Access to food is limited in Cuba. As tourists we might think our choices are less than we are used to, but we get offered a whole lot more than many Cubans. It might not be the food you are used to, but it's all good. If you have a favorite snack you can't live without, it's best to bring it from home. Good snack items would be dried fruits and nuts.
9. Have a good time.
Why else would you come to Cuba?
10. Our most important recommendation.
Come with an open mind, leave with an open heart.
Wow, those are some great tips, Alex. I better go get packing now.
Hasta pronto, Melina.
Hasta luego, Alex.